What's going on, everyone? Welcome back from your short break there. Welcome to the Red Track. Appreciate all of you coming back for day two. We're excited about the next speaker. I've got my homegirl Vaishali Nagori joining us on the Red Track. Super excited for her. She's actually returning back as an alumni speaker from last year. For those of you who saw last year's conference, she is going to be presenting on Vaishali's Guide to Hacking APIs. I hate it when people introduce me, so I'll let her introduce herself, and we'll welcome her here onto the stage. Vaishali!
Hello, how are you?
Girl? Awesome.
Yeah.
So I leave all of you in good hands. Vaishali is a totally cool cat. I'll let her introduce herself. You guys enjoy it. I'll talk to you in a bit, Vaishali.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Vaishali and I'm from India. I work with CISO security professionals and developers to ensure end to end security of their organization. I have secured over 200 plus applications in different varieties like gaming application, e-commerce, management, and many more. I'm a certified PCI DSS implementer. I love to write blogs and gives webinar in order to contribute to the society. So today's topic is from my experience of securing 200 applications. I would love to discuss about some business logical flow, which are my favorites. So the agenda of today's webinar is like what is business logical flow, what are the different business logical vulnerabilities which we can look for, and I'm going to share few of the scenarios and how you can fix all of these vulnerabilities. So what is business logical flows? So nowadays the applications which come for the testing, now it's come very secure because nowadays developers starts getting training of best secure coding practices. So the normal vulnerabilities like access control related injection attacks and all are these vulnerabilities are quite secure as compared to previously. Like previously we used to find all of these vulnerability more, but nowadays it's reducing day by day since developers are getting good training for best secure coding practices and all. So when every these things can be learned, like how to fix access control related vulnerabilities or many more. So what is business logical flow? So basically by understanding the how their application is working, what are the different functionalities they have, and to understand the application and figure out and look for the flows in that functionality called as a business logical flow. So basically to understand their functionality and find out how we can misuse their functionality is called as a business logical flow. So in upcoming slides I'm going to share a few scenarios which give you a good idea about what exactly business logical flow is. So let's start with the first scenario, which is my favorite vulnerability. So nowadays we usually saw that there is applications like e-commerce applications, gaming application, or any gym application. They are providing the pro account. So basically, with the help of the pro account, you can use some extra features. For example, if it's an e-commerce application, you can get a free deliveries on all the products. If you are a it's a gymming application, then you can access to their all training and all on free. So pro account basically there it's the earning module to earn the money, right? What if I get the unlimited pro account access from, like if I'm able to get unlimited pro account access, then it's a huge financial loss for that organization. So let me tell you how I'm able to get unlimited pro account access. So I was testing one application. Nowadays there's one thing very popular called referral program to attract the clients to get the customers on our application. Nowadays organization providing a referral code. So in one of my application they are providing referral code. So they are providing 1 month account access. One, sorry, just give me 1 second. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so in that program they are giving 1 month pro account access if I use the referral code of my friend. So what I'm able to do, I just take the referral code of my friend, put it on the account, and I capture that request. So I observe the request. In the screenshot you can see there is a reward duration which is previously it was set to be 30. So according to their referral program, if the duration will be 30 days, you can get a pro account access for 30 days. So what I have done, I changed the days from 365. Here you can change the day from the n number. And as soon as I change the days from here, I am able to get unlimited pro account access. which is a huge financial loss for that organization. So this is how I am able to get unlimited pro account access. So that's how I first understand how their application is working, what is their functionality, and then I thought, what if I'm able to get pro account for unlimited days? So this is how I found it, and how to fix this vulnerability. So remediation part will be this duration. If suppose if someone is checking, if someone is replacing the days from here and changing the days, there should be server side validation. Server side validation, they should check that this should be 30 days only, it shouldn't be modifiable. So this is how you can fix this vulnerability. So input validation should be there at the server side as well. So let's move to the next vulnerability. Logical flow to get questions get revealed before starting the assessment. So I was testing one examination application. So for any examination app, what is the important thing? Questions, right? Suppose if I have to give I have to opt for an examination, and if I get all the questions before the exam, then what's left in that application? Like that application is like completely damaged, right? Because the use of the application is to store well and do the examination. So I thought, what if I'm able to get the questions before starting the assessment? So I was thinking about this, then I explored the application, then I figured out one API endpoint which is revealing the questions for the upcoming assessment. So what I've done, I just call this endpoint, and in the HTTP response, I am able to see all the questions which are going to be come into the examination. So again, this is like any user can get the question, they can get a good marks. So it's like then a reputation loss, because all users are going to get the good marks, so then no use of this application. So that's what I understand, like how it's what is the use of this application and how we can reveal the questions. So how to fix this vulnerability? So for fixing this vulnerability, for remediation part, you have to make sure that this API endpoint not reveal the question before starting the assessment. So you have to put the validation that when particular API endpoint, when the assessment will start, then only this API endpoint will get called. So this is how you can fix this vulnerability. So let's move to the different scenario. Abusing the customer support chat system. So I was testing one e-commerce application, and might be from India. Many of us already use this application. It is in a very popular e-commerce application. So when it comes for the testing, I was thinking I spent some time on the application and found out that this application was bit secure. So after exploring the application, I saw the chat functionality. So basically, the chat functionality, it's a customer support. You can raise your query if you have any query related to the order, or if you have any query, you can ask at the customer support chat system. So after I thought, let's try to chat with this, let's try to play with this functionality. So I just sent them a hi, I received the hi, then I said to them like I had some query regarding my order. So they asked me for the order ID. So from there, I get an idea. Okay, they are not validating, they are not checking, bringing the order ID by their own, which means I can share the order ID of any user, and they will going to share the details. So I share them an order ID and ask them, can you please change the address of this order? And by my good luck, they changed the address. So actually at the backend there is no mechanism where they are checking that this particular order ID belongs to that user or not. And they ask me few questions for changing the order ID, and they don't even ask me for the OTP, although that application was very secure. But they just forgot to implement security checks properly on the customer support chat system. So I sent them order ID, I asked them, can you please change the address, can you please change the order, can you please cancel the order? And I just, all I need is order ID of any user, and I can cancel the order, I can get the information, I can change the address. So it's a huge financial loss. If I change the address, then I get all the paid order at my house, which is a huge financial loss for that organization. So it's not that complex thing. I just by randomly chat with them, I'm able to find this vulnerability. So this is how you have to think from that perspective also. Whenever you look for an penetration, you are penetration testing any application, you have to think in a normal way, how in a how worst way you can abuse their functionality. So there, they want to provide in a customer support, but we are able to misuse their functionality just because they don't have a proper checks at a backend. So to fix this part, all they need to have to do is they have to check that particular order ID belongs to that user or not. They have to put some backend check like, in which they can check this. If I'm logging with this user, they have to check this order ID belongs to this user. Then only they have to change the order, change the address details. They can cancel the order and anything. Yeah, so this is how you can fix it, this vulnerability. And yeah, in the meantime, if you have any doubt, you can put it on the chat section. Yeah, so next vulnerability: purchase more products to get discounts and then return some of the product. So for this vulnerability, I had one story which I want to share with you. So, like, I used to share room with my sister, and I used to go on a call with the remediation call with my client. So she used to listen all of my call. So from there, she get a basic idea of hacking. So by profession, she's a fashion designer. So she is not from technical background, but by listening to calls and all, she get what is hacking. So she used to listen all of my calls. So this vulnerability is found by her only. So she was using one e-commerce application. So she told me. So the scenario was like, suppose let's take an example. Nowadays, r- coupon code is very popular. If I shop for a 2,000 rupees, they will give me coupon code, for example, 500 rupees or any amount. Right. So the minimum amount should be 2,000. Then only you can, then only this coupon code will be applied. So what we are able to do, we just buy the product, two products, and apply this coupon code. Now, once I received both of product, I return one product. So actually, what happened, that reward amount, the 500 rupees divided into both the products, 250 and 250. So I return one product, but still I am able to get a benefit on one product of 250 rupees. So which is again an use financial loss for that organization. So how it just of our thinking, like how you are thinking in a way. So she is from a non-technical background, but she understand, okay, we are able to misuse their functionality. And then we submitted this vulnerability to that client, and it's an a bug bounty platform where we found this vulnerability. So a non-technical person can also learn the hacking by just thinking. Nowadays we use many applications. So if you build your thinking in a way, there might be you also find out some vulnerabilities, the application which you are using on your daily basis. It's just on thinking basis. There is no complex API we have to capture and then perform the testing and nothing. It's just our thinking. So I always say hacking is all about how worst you can think. So this is how I found this vulnerability, and my sister found this vulnerability, and again it's a huge financial loss for that organization. So how you can fix this vulnerability? So for fixing this vulnerability, you have to make sure if you are using a coupon code, make sure if someone is returning the product, then coupon code will deduct from that amount. For example, if I return one product, then 500 rupees will deduct from there. It will not be applicable on that product. So that sort of mechanism they have to implement in order to fix this issue. Okay, so let's move to the next one, Rudy. To listen paid recording. So nowadays, many mental awareness applications, music application like Spotify, and many more applications are there. So their main business model is like for the mental application. I was testing one mental awareness application. So they are providing the subscription where you can listen to the paid recording. That recording are paid. If you listen, though, you will get a good exercise and all. And what if I'm able to listen all of these recordings without paying the amount? So basically what it happening, there is a URL, they are using the AWS platform. So they are not using the pre-sign mechanism. So without, so all I need that URL, and I'm able to access that recording. So what happened? I just captured the request. In the response, I saw the URL. I looked for the URL. I copied in the different browser where I was not logging. So I saw that I am able to listen that recording. So their business model, their earning model is to sell the paid recording, and we are able to listen that recording without any authentication, without paying the amount. So it's a huge financial loss for that organization. So how you can fix it? So for example, if you are using any cloud platform, or you have to use pre-sign mechanism. So basically, pre-signed mechanism will generate in a signature, so that if it will generate the signature, then you are not able to directly access. For that, you need that signature signed URL. Then only you are able to access. So this is how you can fix this issue. And for even not just for recording them in the normally whenever you test any application, there's any URL like any profile picture or any document, you should always look for that URL is using pre-signed mechanism or not, and you can submit this volunteer as an authenticated access to particular data, might be document, any report or anything. Let's move to the next scenario. To place an order with COD method with amount less than XXX rupees. So nowadays, when we talk about e-commerce application, they are providing the COD option, cash on delivery option. So whenever we opt for any cash on delivery option, the merchant has to pay the amount, some amount like 1% or 2% amount to the delivery boy whenever they collect the money from them. That is why you saw on the e-commerce application, if you shop for the 1,000 rupees, then only you can opt for the COD method, because it is chargeable for that merchant. That is why it is always we will go for the online method. We will give you no coupon code and etc etc. So what I thought, let's, if they are suggesting, they are saying that if you only shop for the 1,000 rupees, then only you can use the COD method. So I thought, let's try. What if I am on the 100 rupees shopping, I am able to use COD method. So I just select the product worth rupees 100 or 200 rupees, and I go to the perform the entire process and capture the request in the burp suite. And in the screenshot, you will see there is the parameter was passing called payment type. So before it was the like you can use for the bank account, UPI ID, anything. So what I changed from the COD. Sometimes it might be they are representing as an digit as well, like 1 2. So you have to identify which digit they are using for the COD, and you have to replace from it. And I change it from here and I forward the request. So from there, I am able to place the order with the COD method. So again, it's a financial loss because they have merchant have to pay the 1 or 2% or any percentage amount for this to a delivery boy, which is they are not allowing. So that's how you have to understand what. So I know that for COD method they have to pay the amount. So that's why I thought, let's try on the 100 rupees shopping or something like that, and we are able to do. So that's how you have to understand and functionality in the depth. Then only you can come across with the business logical flow vulnerabilities. So these all are the few scenarios which I came across while I was testing all these application. Even even I'm about to launch my book about business logical flow, most probably within months, within 1 or 2, not sure, but yeah, I'm going to, where I'm going to discuss more scenarios of business. So the motive of this session is like to we have to build a thinking in which we can found good vulnerability, not just technical like API level issues, but there are other vulnerabilities as well, which we can look and which we can found with the help of APIs and all. And yeah, these all. If you have any questions, feel free to ask with me. And thank you
Girl
so much.
power. Great job, Miss Valley. You killed it. Hey,
Thank
so
you.
several questions. Definitely thanks for explaining both the vulnerability and how to fix it. Usually, I feel like we as breakers have a tendency to just focus on, how to break something, how to hack
Yes.
something. But I love
Yes.
how you went into detail about actually fixing it.
Thank you.
Um, Out of all the vulnerabilities that you found, I always like to ask this question: what's the most common that you find? I think I know the answer to that, but like is in I guess maybe it's over the past year since you last presented at APIsecure. What's has there been a change in the most common vulnerability finding?
Yeah, so most of the vulnerability I found, it is because of the input validation. Like at the server, the data that input value they are not checking properly because of the almost 80% of vulnerabilities are access control related, and the input validation is not there. For example, in one of my vulnerability, we are able to change the days. If they are implementing proper input validation, then we might not be able to change the value and perform this attack. So input validation, the root cause is input validation, and because of we can look for in different scenarios like that. API, that pro account exploitation, and many more. So these, I think, most popular vulnerability, I think, most common we used to found.
Yeah, yeah. I think the most common, and I almost want to put out a survey to all of the attendees and speakers for the conference, and what
Okay.
is the most common finding. And I bet you either input validation kind of stuff, or authorization vulnerabilities.
Yes.
I think the most common, right? BOLA, broken authentication. The top two from the last OWASP.
Yeah, that's true. Access control is almost in every application, no matter how much strong they have implemented. Still, at some point, we are able to, okay, at this API endpoint, they haven't implemented access control. Might be 99% API endpoints are secure, but still one API endpoint left which is not secure. So these are the most popular.
Yeah, definitely. So, another question came in. What are you more passionate about targeting, mobile APIs or web APIs?
I am more in mobile application. I
Oh
love,
yeah.
especially iOS application. I love it. I,
Why, why mobile, and why specifically
actually,
iOS?
yeah, actually, like web application and Android application I've done already, like from long time back. But nowadays I'm more move into the iOS pantry. There are less resources, so I just enjoy in finding the solution and look for the different methods and all. So in some bit of research part, I just enjoy that part, iOS pen testing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think if I were to choose web APIs versus mobile, I would probably choose mobile, just because I feel like you've got your mobile attack surface, and Approve went in a little into this in their presentation, and hard coded secrets in the mobile app, as well as the API vulnerabilities. It really kind of gives you two playgrounds as a
Yes.
hacker,
Yes.
to
Yes.
play within and find vulnerabilities. Whereas a web API, you don't really have a client to mess with like you do with the mobile app. And um, also, not just that, I mean Burp Suite, and I definitely recognize that. But in Burp Suite, what I love about it is the Chromium button, where in the proxy tab it will actually load Chromium and automatically filter all your traffic into the proxy HTTP history tab, allowing you to send that on a repeater. But so that makes, I think, web API testing at least a lot more exciting for me. But yeah, I would definitely agree with you. I think mobile app. But now it's interesting. You said iOS, because I didn't expect you to say that. I expected you to say Android.
Yeah, most of the people, because majority of people doing Android assessment. For as I mentioned, for iOS assessment, there are less resource as compared to like most of the people do for Android. So yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
And the one thing, yeah, go ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, like when it comes to Android or iOS application, we have source code also. Like you said, hard-coded key. So sometimes with the help of that APK file, when you decompile, you got some data which directly like access key and secret key, which you can also use in API pen testing of the mobile application as well. So yeah, mobile application part is a bit enjoying as compared to web application.
Yeah, it's interesting. You and I are very similar in that regard, where I really don't like doing any vulnerability research in areas where where there's a lot of other people doing it. So your interest in really focusing on iOS,
Yes.
because there's fewer researchers in that area. I love that. That's definitely something that the way I've worked as well. Now, what is Vaishali's tool stack? So, like, if you were to say, like, okay, these are my go-tos, what are your staple tools?
To be honest, I just love Bob Suit. That is my favorite tool, and I'm like a more manual pen tester. I don't that much believe in like automatic. I believe, but I believe
It's okay
manual
for you
pen
to say
testing is.
that. You can hate
See,
automated scanning. I think a lot of people will agree with you in the audience.
yeah, the reason I would tell you why is it because see, with the automated you can for example, if I want to look for a dietary listing vulnerability, I can look for an automated tool. But when it comes to play around with the API pen testing, it's all about you also have to think like all the things cannot by tools only. So I just love burp suit, and I love manual fantasy to observe the application, to play around the APIs, and as much like to try hit and trial process on all of these. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of flip flop between Postman and Burp Suite. Don't get me wrong, and I think I talked a little bit about this yesterday. I mean, love Burp Suite, love it, and I mean I
Yeah.
don't. And what I love about it is that the community edition, people that can't afford the Pro can still get a fully featured Burp Suite. Where if you think about it, there's really no reason to buy Pro, especially if you're not into automated tools. You know, you with communication, you'll get those like scanners and stuff, right? So I've never seen a need to buy Burp Pro, but I bought it just to support PortSwigger because I think it's a great tool. I don't know, Vishali, if you saw the report, but I think it was HackerOne or BugCrowd. One of them published a report where they surveyed all of their bug bounty hunters, and the number one tool used by all the bug bounty hunters was Burp Suite.
Yeah, Burpsuit is just love. I mean, it's just amazing tool. It really help in doing assessment and all. It's so easy to use and it's really helping us.
Now, for Burp Suite, did you go to any of the PortSwigger training? Have you
Yes, yes.
taken? Okay, so you've done the PortSwigger training and stuff like that. What was your favorite training course for Burp Suite? Was it the one offered by PortSwigger?
I have like in my initial days, I solved the labs of their bird suit. Like, didn't take a training and all, but I solved the labs of the port suite, which is really on based on the live examples and all. So yeah, that I have solved, but not taken any certification. Recently, they have published certification and all, so that I haven't taken yet.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think for me, it obviously depends on the engagement, right? Like, so if you're targeting a specific API in a specific project, you're going to decide, what tools you should use. But of course, you have your go-tos like Burp Suite. But for me, like, for example, the recent paper that I published, I spent the entire time in Postman because of the Postman collections and being able to script in those Postman collections, if you will, and really just kind of save those API hacks and do a massive library that I could then export and send over to my client. So I love that power and that flexibility, but I feel like there's some great things about Burp Suite and some great things about tools like Postman where,
Yes.
maybe it depends on the engagement.
Yes, when we got the testing, specifically API penetration testing, then we also use the Postman, and with the in the Postman we just import the all the APIs, and then we can capture the request in the burp suite. Because if you want to play with the like, so we can even directly test on the Postman as well. But yeah, for this specific API penetration, we also use Postman. It is really good. Like,
Yeah,
so you can just import the JSON file and it just
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
exactly. JSON file. Yeah, exactly. When like for example, in my connected car hacking research, when I hacked those Ford APIs, I used Postman specifically because I felt, you can go in there, you can create your raw API request from scratch. Whereas with Burp Suite, it's more of kind of like intercept and then replay, right? And with
Yes.
Postman, I feel like you get that blank slate. You have the ability to really just kind of craft and create that each individual API request the way you want it to look, and then and save it into a collection.
Yeah, totally agree. Correct.
Well, Vishal, it's always really good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us today. You were awesome. So how can everyone reach you, follow you, stalk you? Are you on YouTube? Are you on Mastodon? Are you on Twitter? Where are you?
I am on LinkedIn. I just love LinkedIn. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm an active member on LinkedIn,
You
like
keep
where I
it
share.
simple. You keep
Yeah, I just on one platform where people can get all my blogs, webinar, and all the details from there. So yeah, from LinkedIn you can simply search Vaishali Nagori and you will get it there.
Well, like I said, hashtag more please on women in API security. So I'm always glad to see you
Yeah,
and glad to be part of this.
yeah,
So hope to see you come back next year. Thank you so much for
yeah.
presenting today, and you killed it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting me. And now I'm permanent member of API. Each year I'm going to give a talk.
Awesome.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're part of the furniture here. So
Yeah, soon. Thank you so
awesome.
much. Thank you
Thank you,
everyone for
Vaishali.
joining. Bye bye.
Bye.